And care to share the names of those schools you attended back in those days?
So we got popular real quick when I was 15. So I only was able to do Rainbow Elementary in Decatur, Georgia, Chapel Hill Middle in Decatur, Georgia, a little bit, and then Chapel Hill Middle in Douglasville, Georgia, Alexander High School, Chapel Hill High School, and then we went to Ombudsman, which is like bad behavior. But we ain't had bad behavior. We was just popular.
Now, circumstances could be different for everyone. But can you give the audience 5 tips on moving to Atlanta?
I say moving to Atlanta. First tip is just know who you are. I feel like a lot of people don't have a plan. I feel like not just Atlanta, moving to anywhere, just have a plan. Know what you want to do. Maybe already have a job or a few job interviews planned. The second thing is don't doubt yourself. The third thing, moving to Atlanta, like just know the area. A lot of places look better online than they are, so maybe you should come here and look at a place before you actually move into one. The fourth thing, the wings are small. Atlanta got small wings. Everybody complain about that. I don't know where the fuck y'all from, but I'm used to small wings anyway. I hate big meat. I mean, not in that way, but I hate big meat. So in Atlanta, we got super small wings. So that's another thing. And then the fifth thing is it's a lot of guys on the down low. So ladies, just hide that coochie. Hide that cat. Be careful. Be stingy with that cat. Like, it's like a lot of these men's got a man. And that's all I'm going to say.
Now, for you, what was that really like growing up in either Decatur or Atlanta?
Growing up in Atlanta was actually cool. Like I said, I feel like people knew that I was going to be popular before I knew, like, or they knew my power as a person before I knew. So, like, they would always pick on us and shit. But then, like, not like my mom was always with the shit. Like, if somebody was picking on us, she'll drop us off at the mall. Say, y'all better be there so y'all can come home. So we got to be there. You see what I'm saying? So it's like shit like that. Like, even if people didn't mess with us, like, it didn't matter. After a certain time, I started to feel like, oh, I see why you messing with me. And then I had a little booty on me. I wasn't having sex. And people thought I was having sex. So that was another thing. Like, you know, people just behave. It was a lot of bullying. So I would understand that. Me, I would never sit with the cool kids, as you would call it, because I'm a cool kid myself, as they would call it. I never, like, put myself in that category. I would always sit with the people who was by themselves at the lunch table. Sit with them, talk with them.
And just sidestepping here when it comes to Decatur, Illinois, for those in the audience that might not be familiar with that location, what's the nearest city they would be familiar with?
Like Springfield, maybe St. Louis, maybe, I don't know, Chicago is like 2 hours away.
And how far driving distance, for example, was Springfield or St. Louis?
Probably like 30 minutes, Springfield, I think, maybe an hour.
Hour St. Louis?
Yeah, hour St. Louis.
And 2 was Chicago.
Chicago, too.
Now, for you, what was the bottom point for you during your upbringing? Was it the bullying that you just mentioned, or was it something even worse than that? What was your lowest point or most negative moment growing up for you?
I don't think I ever had a really most negative or lowest point really growing up. Like, I think I understood real early who I was as a person. And I always had faith. Like, we went to church with my grandmother all the time. And then that's when I kind of figured out, like, church, I don't know about church. I believe in God, but, like, church was kind of, like, weird for me because I started to see, like, the fake stuff that was happening as a young child. Then me in middle school, staying next door, my neighbor, she was, like, 30-something with, like, 4 kids, and I was her best friend. See what I'm saying? So, like, I always was way more mature. Like, why am I your best friend and I'm only 14 years old, you know? So, yeah.
Now, when you say fake stuff, can you provide any examples of what you were seeing back then?
It was super materialistic. I want to be taught, like, when you go to church, you want to be taught about God. You know, I think that's the whole point. And it wasn't really about that. It was more about what you wearing. I would see people getting picked on. I would see the preacher saying, like, some quotes like Beyonce's. And I'm like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, why is this even a reference in church? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then I start seeing that taxes, you don't got to file taxes, churches. Once I started researching it, everything started to make sense. Just play it like that.
Now, because of those eyewitnessing of that, for lack of a better phrase, where do you stand on religion at this point?
Yeah, I still believe in God. I don't go to church, but like, okay, so I do go to church, but I don't go to church. Like, say if I meet somebody or if I know somebody, I go to their church. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I do. But like, do I have a church base that I go to? No. My main thing is giving back. I give back all the time, literally every day. I do something, like every day. So that's my main thing, and I pray before I wake up, before I hit my blunt, before I do anything. I thank God. I go to sleep to prayer music, like I go to sleep to God praying over me. That's my whole thing. Like, I'm super spiritual. So, yeah.
And do you consider yourself Christian?
Yeah, I consider myself Christian.
And does it get any more specific than that, like a particular branch
No.
under Christianity, perhaps?
No, I just believe in God. So, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say I believe. A lot of people just be like, I believe in a higher power. No, I believe in God. You know, that's why I got to say Christian.
Now, when it comes to bullying and things of that nature that you experienced back in those days, mentally, has this been something you sought any professional help over?
I always am like the person that check out everybody. So like professional help for me in high school, that's normal. Like it's different crews in high school. It's different. Like no, in high school that's normal. Like you're gonna go through that. You got to figure out who you are as a person. Like even when you as an adult, when you do grow up, it has to be where you unlearn certain things. Like you only do this because you were taught. You feel me? So like. No, I feel like that was a part of me maturing, me becoming a stronger person. And that just adds to you, that builds character. I wouldn't even take that part back. So mental health is super important to me. I always check on my friends. My friends always check on me. And therapy is important if you want to go to therapy. I'm everybody's therapist. And I just tell my friends, like, I think it was last year, I told them I was going to get into therapy. But, like, I'm everybody's therapist. Like, I'm kind of at peace. I got this, like, super balance right now. Well, it's like I could go to therapy, but I'm just at a super peaceful place. But I feel like nobody should look at therapy as a bad thing. Therapy is actually good. That's how I look at it.
Now, you mentioned once upon a time that you were going to nursing school and maybe one day becoming a nurse, but you stopped that at some point. Because you describe yourself as everyone's therapist, was there ever a thought on maybe going back to school to become a professional therapist?
No. I do not want to listen to people's problems all day. That shit get on my nerves. Listening to people's problems all day is like, okay, so if you somebody I care about, cool, but like it's like certain people who I know they about to call me with some bullshit. Like it's like, okay, let me light my blunt, let me go ahead and get my drink, whether it's gonna be some water or kombucha, it don't matter. I need something right now. This person is about to like drain me, but they need it. So it's like I know I'm an energy giver, and I know that a lot of people depend on me for these ears. So I got no problem being that, even though it gets on my nerves. Like the people that I care about, I'm always gonna be that listening in for them. So no, I don't want to hear from hundreds and thousands of other people their problems when I deal with other people's problems every day. Hell no, never thought about it. No, wouldn't happen. Pray for the therapist.